Hi, my name is Kelvin Lara, and today I'm going to be showing you a presentation that is an analysis of the National Football League and the problems and the practices that it has today. I'll be giving you a quick overview as well as an introduction to the organization, and then we'll be discussing human relations, communications, intercultural relationships, and ethical issues as they relate to the NFL. Lastly, I'll be showing you a conclusion as well as my thoughts on the matter. We're going to watch a quick video that shows a panel of NFL experts discussing a situation in which a player was concussed, was allowed to re-enter a game, and what it means for the NFL's state of concussion protocol.
Well, hold on. How many times are we going to have this discussion on Monday? How many times are we going to
This is the fourth time this season.
How many times are we going to talk about whether it's a reaction
Yep.
or overreaction? Whether it's Russell Wilson or Tom Savage or Jacoby Brissett or Cam. Every week we talk
Yep.
about this.
That means it's wrong.
enough.
Yep.
Correct, but see, that's what I'm saying. So what does overhaul mean?
You got to do. You
That
have
means
to
that means
say
just
to
if
people,
that means
There's
whoever
gonna have
was
to be some
whoever-
hard lines,
right, exactly.
dude.
So whoever was responsible, they're gonna have to face some serious consequences,
Right.
then, right? Because that's the only way. That's the only overhaul that's left.
Here's what we can say. Overhaul, not they don't have it right.
Right.
I
They
agree.
don't have it right.
Yep.
I think this is
Do what you have to do to
this,
get it
this
right.
is this is a human error issue. This isn't a protocol
Why?
issue.
It's
This is
not
people.
right.
This is people who aren't willing to make the decisions issue.
Well, the problem is no matter what protocols you put in place, they do no good unless they're
Unless
implemented.
exactly,
And
unless they're
Absolutely.
applied. That's
That
my
is
point.
the
That's my
Wait,
point.
wait,
issue.
do we agree that yesterday was a breach of protocol?
More than likely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yo,
Not
yo,
even
yo,
like
yo, breach.
absolutely.
Hey.
100%.
Something's wrong. So after all that discussion, after all the times we talked about it, we still have a breach. Okay? That's great.
I'll tell you what.
On
Leroy
record.
Adam is fired up today too.
That's one of those days.
Welcome to the playoffs, people.
So, for a quick overview, the NFL is on average the highest attended professional sports league in the world. This is pretty remarkable considering the fact that there are more popular sports in the world with big stadiums, but on average, the NFL has the highest attendance. It averages about 65,591 attendees per game. The NFL exists by a relationship between the NFL commissioner, the 32 NFL team owners, the team's players and staff, and of course the millions of fans around the world. Now the league faces a couple of issues, and they stem from things like safety, player safety because of brain trauma and concussions, and some public backlash that they've been facing because of political activism from their players and coaches. Another issue is the fact that the NFL has traditionally been seen as an exclusively American sport, but they want to show their image and they want to show that they are inclusive and that they are suitable for other markets around the world. So a quick introduction, the NFL was founded in 1920 when it was known as the American Professional Football Association, and 2 years later it was renamed the National Football League. It quickly established itself as a dominant sport in the world, in the country, and one of the best leagues in the United States. Now, it faced some adversity, it faced some competition from a rival organization named the American Football League, and they would merge in 1970 to form the NFL as we know it today. The NFL is a vertical organization, starting at the very top with owner Roger Goodell, who is the chief of the league. There are the 32 NFL team owners who directly respond to the commissioner. And then each team has players, coaching staff, and an entire organization that answer to the team owners. Human relations when it comes to the NFL is very important because of the sheer scope of the organization. There are so many humans involved from top to bottom. So we could take a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the way that some of these individuals are motivated and what drives some of their actions. Safety is a big one. For example, in 2014, San Francisco starting middle linebacker Chris Borland retired after only 1 year. His rookie season was outstanding, and when asked why he retired, he responded that it was because of the dangers of playing the game. Now, some of this probably has to do with a report that was released by the University of Michigan in 2009 that showed a direct correlation between concussions suffered in an NFL career and post-career symptoms of things like dementia and memory loss. Now, some things are positive though. For example, using Herzberg's theory, we can look at some motivating factors that are positive. For example, the motivation to do more than statistical achievements on the field, to do things that are great for the community, and to really step above the line of duty. A great example of this is J.J. Watt, who plays defensive end for the Houston Texans. Last year, when Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, he used this platform to raise more than $35 million in hurricane relief. Now, contingency theory takes a look at how a structure that is not well defined and has some room for elasticity can be a good thing, but sometimes it can be a bad thing also. So for example, contracts are an area where that's a good thing. Not one position has one contract. Each player, relative to their position, size, age, and things like that, can have the best contract that is most suitable for them. Cleats, on the other hand, is the opposite. Cleats are an area that are hardly seen, and they're not technically part of the NFL uniform, but still the NFL does not allow for any modification, even though lots of players have wanted to. Communications is a really big issue for the NFL, both internally and externally. We could take a look at Feynman's theory. That's how some valuable information stemming from the players and moving upwards to the coaches in the league sometimes runs into a bit of traffic. We could take a look at this through concussion and injury reporting. It is pretty well known that players who are injured oftentimes do not report that they are injured, and this is especially dangerous when it comes to things like concussions. Now, this results from a variety of reasons. Sometimes players don't want to miss out on playing time, but sometimes they're just not sure of how to deliver the message to their coaches and players. They feel like they don't want to let them down, and they don't want to give themselves an image that isn't tough or an alpha male like an NFL player is expected to be. Now, because of things like concussions and brain injuries, the NFL's reputation has started to deteriorate a little bit. The NFL needs to employ image restoration theory to ensure the success of their company. Now, the NFL's had a great reputation as being a leading league in the United States. It's got a relationship with its players and fans, and it has a responsibility to uphold good ethics and protect both players and fans. And its response is going to be it's going to be received by the fans, and it's going to determine how well they do in the future. Now, because of it, they're facing a crisis. Since 2014, the league's core demographic is down 24%, and Roger Goodell's response to this is going to be a key factor in how they move forward. Intercultural relations have been generally good for the NFL. They have been known for being tolerant of other religions and races and things of that nature. A great example of this is Colin Kaepernick. He was the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and in 2014, he began to take a knee during the national anthem to protest police brutality. Now, even though the league faced a lot of public backlash for these actions, the commissioner, the league, and several team owners came out in support of Colin Kaepernick, as well as many of his players, fellow teammates, and other athletes around the world. Now, as far as being a strictly American sport, they're trying to shake that image. They've tried it in the past to expand to other countries, which didn't work out so well, but they're doing much better. For example, the Jacksonville Jaguars now play a game in England once a year, and the Bills have played a game in Toronto, and there's currently one game every year being played in Mexico. Ethics is an area where the NFL has excelled and has suffered in some situations. In areas that they have done well, a great example of this is their ability to reduce the normalization of deviance. For example, Ray Rice in 2014 was arrested for assault on his fiancée, and after video of the incident was released, he was suspended indefinitely by the league, and he was never signed by another team. Strategic ambiguity, on the other hand, is an area where they're suffering. They are not being forthright about the effects of concussions and things like that. And utilitarianism, that's an area where players want to use marijuana in the league, and even though it is not a performance-enhancing drug, the NFL does not allow for it. In conclusion, the NFL needs to foster and develop positive relationships with players, coaches, and fans in order to establish a successful future. They need to communicate honestly about brain trauma because it is at the forefront and is no longer a secret. They need to be inclusive, immersive, and diverse, including other cultures, languages, and things like that. And they need to set a very high standard of ethics for the league. Roger Goodell is going to be a major part of this and how they move forward, and we hope to see the best from the NFL going forward. Thank you.